Okay, so I decided to pursue mechanical engineering right after school because I genuinely loved engineering and science. It wasn't one of those instances that people may believe that, oh, they see parents, yeah, become an engineer or a doctor. So my dad was in the engineering field and my mom was in like a corporate field, finance, operations, things like that. And I was always I was always towards what my dad used to do. Like, if my dad used to be drilling stuff around the house, I used to go pick it up. But if my mom was working on Excel sheets, I'd never be interested in that. So I think from a very young age, did I realize I always had an inclination towards these male dominated fields, as they would call it at that time. Even karate, I have a black belt in karate because at that time my parents were like, self defense, you're a woman. I mean, of course, like it's kind of like a no brainer. And then at the same time I got into music, and then that's when I did my Trinity examination in 4 grades in keyboard and piano as well. So I got into college, I did mechanical engineering, and then I got my first job as a mechanical engineer. And then that's when I realized that in order to progress in my field, in that said job, I need to do my masters. So at that time I started pursuing my masters in oil and gas. And coincidentally, at that time, I was getting frustrated with engineering because it got quite monotonous, at least in this region, because your job is always directly proportional to the region you're in, because there's not much R&D in this region, etc., etc. Then I got a job at IBM. And then suddenly I moved to tech. And at that time, I took a part time in master. So it was a 2 year course. So I moved to tech while I was doing my master's in science. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in a pickle. Because while I was studying my bachelor's, that's when it's like Inception, right? It's like a cobweb. Like, I hope you're keeping up.
Yeah, I
So
am. I'm trying.
so when I was doing my bachelor's, I used to post random cookies, molten chocolate cakes online, like Tim Hortons, Chili's, like literally the most cliche basic stuff. I didn't know blogging was a thing in Dubai. I swear I did not know. I didn't know you could get paid big bucks to eat a cake. I didn't know any of that. I was posting it in a similar fashion how you would post vacation pictures online. Purely that. But I think people realize there's this crazy dessert lady in town. So my friends used to tag their friends used to tag their friends. And by word of mouth, I started gaining followers. That is literally what it was. And I was studying mechanical engineering at that time. I remember I just got my driving license and I used to go like I used that as an opportunity. Oh, let me try all the cakes and brownies in the world. And then all of a sudden, I started getting invited. And I remember my first invite was from Movenpick in JBR, Movenpick at JBR. It was for their Christmas tree lighting ceremony. That was my first event. I was so excited. I was like, what is this? And I wanted to ask them, is this like free or you want me to pay?
Pay?
Like what is this, right? And then I got invited, and then slowly, like the invite started pouring in. Like, what are your rates? Do you want to try our ice cream? And I remember at that time I charged like 100 dirhams for like 50. In fact, it was 50 first, and I was like, okay, let me double it, and I just made it 100 dirhams, and that's literally how it started. So as I told you, then I got a job at in tech, and then I joined IBM, and the blog just kept going on.
Yeah, so you
It,
were
it,
doing
wa-
it
yeah,
simultaneously.
it was just on autopilot. So it was very difficult. I would say those were some of the toughest years of my life because I was put in a project in Abu Dhabi and I'd have to go to Abu Dhabi every single day. So my day would start at 7 and then I'd reach Dubai around 7, 8. God forbid if there was traffic, I'd be screwed. Then I'd have a shoot right after that. Or sometimes I'd have a tasting right after that to keep the momentum on my page. It was very, very messy. And I think that's when all the mental health problems started getting even worse because there was a colleague who was extremely jealous. Clearly, you had no life if you're watching this.
I love it.
He complained to the lawyers at IBM that I was on another payroll. I was not.
What?
I was not on another payroll, and then I got involved with lawyers saying that I would lose my job because yeah. So he's like, I'm doing yeah, without getting into too many details. And then I had to give like a letter, a confirmation saying I'm not on another payroll. I am doing this just how XYZ is running their photography page, their graphic design page, just because mine is just a wee bit more successful than you asshole. Like,
Wow.
yeah, so that's what happened. And from that time, everyone kept telling me, even including my mom, stop the blog. This is not going to get you anywhere. And I knew deep down, like, I believe my intuition is solid. 98% of the time, whatever I say comes true. And I know that for a fact. And I don't mean this in a braggy way, I mean this in a very proud way. So I knew I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I got a lot of hate, several people telling me leave, like if this is my journey, if I want to take this consultancy route, I need to stop. I didn't.